All right, week 28, bin 3. So right off the bat, very similarly to bin 2, we got these really large sprouts that came up. Most likely the cucumber. If you haven't seen the bin 2 video yet, I got a very decent amount of castings out of here. Just using a makeshift colander that I've got these plastic bowls that get delivered to me from food service all the time. And very little of my property gets thrown away. I try to repurpose everything. I was busy last weekend, so I didn't get a chance to go down to one of the big box stores here we have in the north to pick up a colander. So I said, you know what, let me just drill one myself. Works okay. I definitely will probably pick something up later, but right now, that's all I really needed. Okay, so we got some sprouts. We'll feed back to the bin once we get to that point. We got some harvesting to do. So that's what we're gonna start on first. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how things are looking. Now, if you didn't see the bin 2 video yet, you probably already know if you've seen any of my previous videos that I feed right down the middle. And so the feeding zone is just right here in the center. And this is very interesting. This is the contents of bin 1. I thought I had buried the majority of it. There's a lot of it on the top here. And I'm bringing over more content from bin 1 tonight, so we will eventually get to that. Right now, just going to put it off to the side somewhere. Here at the food and stuff. That's going to be going in later. There we go. All right, so the plan is I'm going to basically try to make sure I keep these guys out of the sifting process, and just go ahead and bring up the corner edge here. That's not really part of the feeding zone. In bin 2, there weren't that many worms. There was a pretty good handful of them, you know, about this size. Some were a little bit larger, and I see them and I just grab them out immediately before I start sifting it. They shouldn't have to go through that trauma if I can avoid it. But to about right here, the width of my hand, should be the area that's just not really being fed. Now there's going to be worms, as you can see. We've definitely got, you know, our friends all through here. But the idea is going to be to just kind of pile this over here on top of the feeding area for right now, just so I can get some of the wet stuff out of the corners. And we're going to sift this out, and we're going to be putting in some new bedding material tonight, wetting it down a bit, and yeah, that's basically how I'm going to be harvesting from these bins, just moving forward from now to, you know, and through the future. I'm really excited to get bin 1 fed completely over here to these two, the bins 2 and 3, because once that finishes, bin 1's going to be cycled, and we are finally going to start feeding the worm food that we made last June with the black soldier fly larva. It's time to finally start feeding that, and I've come up with a new recipe that I'm going to try to use for that second stage of bioremediation. I don't know if it's going to work any better than the one I tried last year, but I think it might turn out to be a lot less mushy and acidic, but we'll see. More on that later. Right now, let's just let's go ahead and sift some of this out and see what we come up with. Looks really good. Moisture content looks good. If where everything went with bin 2 is any indication, this should be the same. Obviously, this is gonna be kind of a slow process, so don't worry. I'm gonna be I'll be skipping ahead here, so you don't have to be put to sleep. Just a little bit like that, and shake, shake, shake. As I come across worms, I obviously take them out. Don't need to go through that. Someone asked me, finally, I was waiting for this question to come up, are you gonna get a different camera, a better camera? Yes, eventually. It's something I've been wanting to do as well. I don't know if it will be an actual, you know, expensive high resolution camera or not. It might just be a new smartphone. But the one I have right now is an old Huawei that I bought back in 2019. That's what I make all my videos on. Nothing fancy, just, you know, something that works. But obviously, I would like to be able to get you guys better close-ups when I'm doing things like this, so that you can see in better resolution what it is I have and what it is I'm doing. I'm gonna be putting a piece of dry fruit in here, probably just a banana peel, in case anything makes it through, especially cocoons. You know, if babies hatch in here, then that way I can get them attracted to the food area, and then hopefully just be able to lift them right directly out and put them into the bin 2 or 3 at that point. It gets really, really muddy, and that's, you know, a good indication that the moisture content in the castings is still really, really good. Even 2 weeks later, and I knew that it wasn't going to be that bad anyway, but the moisture content of these castings has been beautiful. It really, really has, and just want to try to keep things at this level if I can moving forward. But I need to definitely get new bedding in here, because we are definitely going to be changing the food very, very soon, and it's gonna definitely require the worms to get ready for some high carbon and also potentially high nitrogen food, because the worm food that we made last year, if you remember, consisted of what's eventually going to be the green waste materials from my yard. I used just the weeds around one of my trees to simulate that. White rice, which basically just turned to mush that the black soldier fly larva absolutely chowed down on and excreted out, and it was sprayed down with LAB. To neutralize that, what I did is I added straight reverse osmosis water, which is a pH of 7. I added a bunch of the compost from my compost pile outside, which looks an awful lot like this, in addition to some crushed up powderized eggshell to kind of balance things out. And the pH went from a 4.5 to almost a straight 7. But now that was last year. I have that bin has been sealed with tape around the full perimeter of the lid so that nothing could get in and out since around, oh, I don't know, maybe around October last year. I haven't looked at it since. It's been sitting in a water tub this whole time. Are there still larvae in there after all this time? We'll have to see. I'll tell you what, I will say this, the black soldier fly larvae, they are tough. And yet I hear a lot of people that have problems just trying to get them to populate, but those are farmers that are looking to do many, many kilogram of larvae for both feed and for composting purposes. Anyway, enough of my rambling, back to this. That'll be coming up soon enough. We'll get to that later. The baby African night crawlers, you guys, they are so small. I mean, literally, if you aren't looking for them, you will miss them. You will. It's just, it's remarkable how small they are when they're first born. They are so tiny. And I still have a ton of them. All these months later, and it's been, what, 5 months at least. I've had babies for the last 5 months just showing up. It's remarkable. I guess just a combination of right conditions and maybe even overpopulation. I really don't know. It's hard for me to say what the conditions have been to get such a massive brood of young showing up like this, but yeah, they definitely have. Yeah, I said this in the Bin 2 video as well. There's different designs that you can use and make and create these sifters with that are tremendous. If you take a look at Noel Davis's channel called World Composting, he has a really neat system that he built. If you're operating on a budget like I am, this works too. It just takes the patience of time and just staying focused on the task. I don't have to have you sit here through every second of me doing this. I'm happy to share the results. I mean, I don't mind doing the work. It's a lot of fun for me. see how we're doing here. I got a pretty good section done. Do a couple more handfuls. Try to take the worms out before I sift if I can. And sticks. Okay. These are mostly sticks I'm picking out right now, but there are some worms I'm grabbing at the same time. Okay, I think about one more handful, and that'll be this side. One more. Okay, that's enough. Bad. This is not even, you know, a quarter inch probably all the way across this little mortar tray, if that, as far as like how much is actually in here that's castings. Fair enough. Okay, looking good. Bedding down. Let's kind of wet that down a bit. Doesn't have to be sopping wet, I just don't want it bone dry. Okay. Looking good. Now the last side here. Take care of the feeding zone, and go from there. Okay. Looks like bin 3 here is going to be very similar to bin 2 in that there's still a lot of food present. I was surprised I did not find the dragon fruit skin anywhere in bin 2. At least I couldn't recognize it if it was there. I wonder if that's also going to be the same here in bin 3 when we get to it. We shall see. There's more of the contents from bin 1. I don't know why that got up on top here. Maybe I didn't bury it as well as I thought I did. Huh. Or maybe they moved it around. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, last side of sifting to do. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, nice and dry. Looks good. Try to group it over here on this side if I can, towards me, towards this back end. Easier to harvest. Some worms. Really do like being over here on the corners. I don't know what it is. I mean, they have the whole time they've been in this bin, from the very beginning till now. There isn't even a lot of food over here, but apparently there's something that they enjoy. It could just be that it's more cool, more comfortable. Maybe that there is still a remnant of food over here that they're wanting to still chow down on. Maybe a combination of all those things. I don't know, but Obviously the majority of them are in the center here with the food, but it's just remarkable that even though I haven't fed on the sides of the bins ever, I do enjoy hanging out in the corners. Okay, boy, that's a lot to harvest. Holy smokes. That's okay though. It's time. 28 weeks. I should have harvested back at week 10. Honestly, if I really think about it, looking back on the at the time when I actually had amazing looking castings, they were a little bit wetter, a little more moist than they are now back then, but I still probably could have harvested them back then as well. All right, enough of my rambling. Let's get down to it. All right. It's definitely, if I was to do this again, and the only reason I'm not right now is because I've only got maybe about 3 or 4 handfuls left, I would probably isolate this first to allow it to dry out and just hand pick as many of the worms out as possible before or after I separate it out into like a bin or a mortar tray like this. It's just that they're still the perfect moisture. This is perfect moisture, but for sifting, it's well, as you can see, it's a tedious process. And I've gone through both bins 2 and 3 now, and I've gotten a fair amount of castings, but it's still very moist, and so it's very hard to do in a little bowl like this. I think 2 more, and we're going to call it good for this harvest. That is that for the harvesting. Now, last thing to do, I'm going to check out the feeding area. We're going to bring over a full bowl of contents from bin 1. We've almost got bin 1 completely emptied out now. And off camera, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bag this guy up. I'm gonna bag this up off camera to try to keep the moisture in, and I'll get some fruit over into it later. All right, time to get some bedding down and moisten it up a bit. Bring everything back over into the side, and I'm gonna check the feeding zone. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got a small little harvest out tonight for bins 2 and 3. New bedding put in place in the corners, on the sides rather. And now it's time to check the feeding zone. Let's see what we got going on over here. Okay. Now this one, very similar to bin 2. Bin 1 content. Worms present. Eating away. There's our ginger. Worms on it. And I think I see babies. Maybe not. These guys do. Let's see if we see the dragon fruit skin on this one. A lot of worms. A lot of worms. Mostly small, but very present. A lot of babies. Small sized juveniles. Huh. You know, right, here we go. That's the mango. That's the original. Did it finally open? I think it did. This is the original mango pit, you guys. Finally cracked open. I don't see any worms on it, but it's cracked open finally, so that's cool. Because we're getting another one tonight. Guys, I do not see that dragon fruit skin anywhere. That's bedding. Man, they tore through that thing. They did in bin 2 as well. I couldn't find anything that resembled it. Here, what do we got? Hang on. Maybe. No, that's the banana bunch. Holy cow, look at that. Remember the bunch for the banana? They have gone to town on that. Look at all the worms on that thing. Look how small it is now. Wow. Babies all over my glove. All over my glove. Wow. They took the, they appear to have taken the dragon fruit out, but there's still some cucumber. Looks like a leaf. That is just amazing to me. It's content of bin 1. Some of the content in bin 1 is still kind of hard. That might be the mango or possibly the dragon fruit, who knows? Doesn't look like bedding. They're all over it, whatever it is. Nice and fluffy. Good moisture content at the same time. Fluffy and moist. That's not too usual, but I mean I've got moisture here and fluffiness at the same time. I like it. A lot. Alright, so just like we did in bin 2, for here in bin 3 we're going to use the content of bin 1 kind of as our bedding on the bottom this time. And we're going to put in another mango and another half of a cucumber in addition to what is still in here, and I'll be right back with that. Content from bin 1. Some of it is really big. Still kind of mushy. A lot of this is from the bottom of the bin in bin 1 now, so it's still maintaining some moisture. Okay. Let's this is some of the remnant content. It was on top from bin 1. Our sprouts. Half a cucumber. Let's get this stuff in the corner here. I always forget to get it. There's our ginger. Bin 1 content. Thought the mango was over here too. There's the bunch from the banana. There's the mango pid. Okay. And some expired mango. They should just absolutely love. Oof. I'll tell you what though, when mango goes off, man, what a stink. They're a beautiful fruit and they're delicious, but when they are gone, they are gone. Whew. At least the ones here in Thailand are. I don't know about the rest of the world. Okay. Boy. A lot of juice, a lot of moisture. Really. The only reason I'm going to be using any water is just to clean off my glove. Because I'm not kidding you, man. These things reek when they go off. They really do. It might just be this variety. I don't know. Okay, I think I want to put any more bedding on top of it. You know what? No, I don't. It's okay. There's that cucumber from last 2 weeks ago. Let's level it out and make sure we get the worms off the sides if there are any. There's 1 content. Gang, week 28 is now complete. Both bins 2 and 3, we've harvested some castings now. I'm going to put those in a separate bag so that they can stay moist and at the same time hopefully attract any newborns that I may have missed or even younger juveniles that I may have missed. Anyway, we've harvested the castings for both bins 2 and 3. We gave a nice big fat feeding in addition to the content that's still been there for the past 2 weeks, which was bare minimum except for the hard stuff that's been in there all along, like the old mango pit and the thing of ginger here in this bin, that banana bunch top also here in bin 3. And a little bit of water along with some new bedding here on the sides. The worms look healthy. Their population is still small in size, but I got a feeling that's because it's just too overpopulated in here. And as I've said every single week, I've got to get some more leaf bedding here for the top, but that's a wrap. Week 28 is now complete. I really want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please share it. Give me a thumbs up and share the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love it if you'd give consideration to doing that. And hit the bell notification icon if you would, so that you can be alerted to when I upload new content, because not just Worm Bin Weekends here. These videos I do every weekend for you, but I've got some garden videos that are getting ready to come up where I'm going to be using these castings and some compost tea, along with some other techniques that I would really love to share with you guys. Listen, wherever you are in this world today or tonight, you take care. Bye for now.